Cool.
So, I know some people are going to definitely know who you are, but for those who don't know, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Carlos Culture. I'm a DJ here in town. I've been DJing here in San Diego for about 25 years. I started over at Winston's, and then I did some work over there, and then I went on to 91X, and did a bunch of work over there with Reggae Wacosa and Makeda Dread for about 8 years. And then during that whole time, I was a volunteer over at the Aerobic Center for like 19 years. I did volunteer work there for 19 years. And a few years ago, I got picked up at 949 and Bob Radio to do to host a radio show, to be on-air talent for them. And but I've been doing reggae music ever since. Got bit with the reggae bug like in 1985 when I was going to school in Athens, Ohio.
What is it that really speaks to you? Like, was it just going to Jamaica? Was it just the way it makes you feel?
When I put the music together, cause when I found out about reggae music, I found out what's the root of reggae music, what was driving reggae music, and I found out that reggae music was driven by Rastafarian culture, Rastafarian lifestyle, or some people may call it religion. But I was really drawn to the Rastafarian lifestyle, and I liked how they didn't eat meat, and they adhere to scripture from the Bible and ancient texts from Africa and stuff like that. Some of those scriptures matched up to like my Catholic upbringing. So I was like, wow, this is a way for me to tap into my spirituality and on a religious side, and still keep the raw, more natural feeling of it, instead of like going to a church and dressing up and all that stuff. And like, that wasn't really like my style, but I like to have a connection. And that's what the whole Rastafarian thing is. Like, I really don't need a mediator to have a relationship with God. I can have my own relationship with God through Rastafarianism without like one like church head or one clergyman that's going to tell me what God says. I can actually try to have my own vibrations and my own understanding through that. So like that, and with the music and the message, and I'm a cannabis enthusiast, so the music and the marijuana and the cannabis is like, it's always great for me, And I like playing the music. And then at first I didn't really make money doing the music, but now I'm not making a ton of money, but at least I'm doing okay with it, and I feel like the work I do is being respected, and the community likes what I'm doing, and so it's nice.
Yeah. Obviously, you stuck around in San Diego. This is your home,
yeah.
So you just stick to your roots and.
Well, I grew up in Ohio.
Okay.
And it got started in reggae in Ohio. It's this Ohio State radio station. It was like a little radio station there. My friend was working there, and I was going to school in Athens, Ohio, which is about 3.5 hours southeast of Columbus. And he invited me to come to his radio show to check it out, right? So I went up to the radio station, and he was handling the mic, and I'm like, hey, I'll feed you songs, right? And the first time I didn't really know who was who and what was what, really, because there was like a lot of records. I knew like Third World and Black Uhuru and Bob Marley and Peter Tosh, but aside from that, I didn't really know that much. So we went on the back of the records and we say, hey, this one has 4 stars. Let's play this song. We got back to the dorms, and it's like, hey, who's got reggae records? And I just bought this one. Let's go to the reggae shop and check it out, or the record shop, and see what they have for reggae music and stuff like that. And then with then our campus, Ohio University, they had their own set of reggae bands, or we had touring reggae bands from Cleveland and Columbus. We would all mob to those things, It was like either Grateful Dead or Pink Floyd or reggae music. That's that kind of stuff is what we were into.
Yeah. Cool. So have you been into music your whole life? Did it kind of start there?
Well, I loved music. I was like a huge Kiss fan, right? I was a little kid, like teenager. I was like, Kiss Alive was to play it all the time, right? I got this like all-in-one 8-track tape player, cassette player, record player, and radio. All in one. Wow. It was the most amazing. I really wanted it, and my mom got it for me, right? So I would play those records, on CDs and tapes, and record the radio and stuff like that. It was crazy. Yeah. It was crazy. But
It's
you know, I go back into thinking about like, when did I first start playing records? I remember playing records, 45s, like in 5th grade for our end of the year party at school, you know. And my parents would have parties, and they would play records, and they wouldn't be tending to the record player. So I thought it was cool to stack up all the records. They had these record players, right? You put one on, and then you stack a whole bunch on top. And then when one finishes, the other one drops and starts over. That's some old school stuff. Old school stuff. And so I would think it was cool. Me and my brother would sit there and stack up like 2 or 3 of those records, right? And wait for all those to go. And wait for those to flip those over.
So you've been doing this for a long time. You've been into that for